Good morning, my dear students. I hope you all are fine and good at home and doing your preparation very well for the examination. As you are knowing that your exam is going to be conducted within next 1 week, so you have to prepare yourself very nicely so that you can attempt all the questions without any problem in the examination time. Students, as we were discussing the fraction chapter, and we have already discussed what is fraction, what are the types of fraction, equivalent fraction, and many more things we have discussed, isn't it? Today also we are going to move on in that chapter, and we will see that what are the next things which we have to discuss in today's class. Let's move on, my dear. So students, when we were discussing about the fraction, we have already discussed what is fraction, okay, what is numerator, what is denominator, what that line is called with which numerator and denominators are divided, okay, that is fractional bar or fraction bar we can say. Many more things we have discussed. So little bit recap I would like to give again so that all the things will again come into your mind. Just see, my dear. With the same chapter we are going on, that is fraction. You can see how it is being divided. The circle is there, one circle is there, that circle is divided into two parts, then that same circle is divided into three parts, then that same circle is divided into four parts, and like on it is going on. Okay, so like that only it is going on. So let's move on, my dear. So students, as you all are seeing the page which I have opened here, in that page you all are seeing it is written fraction. And then what it is written? It is written the definition of fraction. What is the definition of fraction? It is a number that express equal part of a whole object or a set of object. Okay, the number that express, okay, the equal part. It can be equal of a whole object or it can be or a set of object, that is called as the fraction. Fraction has two parts. First is numerator and the second is denominator. First is numerator and the second is denominator. What is numerator? Numerator is that part which we used to write upside. Denominator is that part which we used to write downside. And how we used to write that? Numerator is the part whereas denominator is the whole. Okay, if suppose student, you can see some of the examples are also there. You can see in these examples, you see in this example you can see there is two part of one particular single thing is there. Okay, one thing is there, and that triangle we have done two part of that triangle. So how many parts we are doing? Two parts. So how many total are there? Two are there total. And how many are shaded part? Shaded part we are counting here. How many are shaded part? Only one. So the part we will write upside, and where the total we will write downside. In the same way, there are three parts. How many parts? Three parts. And that three part, in those that three part, two are shaded, one is not shaded. So the two which are shaded, that we will write upside, and the one which is not shaded, that we will leave it like that because it is different from the rest too. And the total part we will write downside. So the part of anything we will write upside, we have to write upside, and the total we used to write downside in the numerator and denominator. As you can see, some of the examples are also there. Part of a whole. Okay, like you can see there are square boxes are made. How many number of square boxes are there? When you will count, then there are six number of square boxes. How many? There are six number of square boxes. And how many are green shaded? Means how many square boxes are shaded green? So there are two square boxes which are shaded green. So the shaded part we are writing upside, whereas the total number of parts we are writing downside. In the same way, how many total parts are there? Six total parts are there. How many purple parts are there which are shaded purple part? Four. So that we will write upside. In the same way, the next one. Here you can see that some of the smileys are given, isn't it? So some that is smiley, some are green smileys, some are purple smileys. So the how many are purple smiley, how many are green smiley? Okay, different number of smileys are there. So the number of smiley is six only, eight is there. Okay, five is purple and three is green. So 5 plus 3 is 8. So number of smileys we will write downside, whereas the number of green smileys we will write upside. Okay, so 3 by 8. In the same way we have done the purple one. Number of smileys we have written upside, and the total number of smileys we have written downside. So this is what fraction is all about. You can see, my dear, downside also some of the examples are there. You can go through it, and these are all. Now let's move on. So my dear, you can see again the slide which I have opened. In that you can see it is written a fraction is any part of a group, number, or whole. Okay, we have already discussed this. One circle has been cut in half. A half is a fraction. We write one half as the top number is called as the numerator. It is the number of part we have. Number of part we have. Now the bottom number is called as the denominator. It is the total number of parts the whole is divided into. Okay, the whole is divided into means in two parts the whole is divided, or in three parts the whole is divided. That we used to write downside. And how many part? It is the part of it is the number of part we have. How many number of part we have? That we used to write upside. Okay. So if when we are writing here, also one thing I want to like to share with you, when you will get 1 as numerator and any number can be written as denominator, it is okay, then it doesn't matter. Like you can see 1 by 2, 1 by 3, 1 by 4, or 1 by 5, it doesn't matter. When you are getting 1 at the numerator place, then these are called as the unit fraction also. These are called as the unit fraction also. When we are getting 1 at the numerator place and any number we are getting at the denominator place, if 1 is there in the numerator place, it will be considered as the unit fraction. Now there are some more points with us which we are going to discuss with you, which I am going to discuss with you. There are 3 types of fractions. First one is proper fraction. We have already learned about the proper fraction. Proper fraction are those fraction in which the numerator is lesser than the denominator. In which the numerators are lesser than the denominator, like 1 by 4, 2 by 3, 7 by 10. In everywhere, numerator is lesser than the denominator. In the same way, improper fractions are those fractions in which denominators are either greater than the numerator, or either numerator and denominator both are equal, like 4 by 4. Here both the numerator and denominators are equal, but 5 by 3. Okay, so here the denominator is greater than the numerator. Here the numerator is greater than the denominator. Here the numerator is becoming greater than the denominator. So when the numerator is greater and denominator is smaller, it is considered as an improper fraction. When the numerator is smaller and the denominator is greater, it is considered as the proper fraction. What is the mixed fraction? Mixed fraction is just a combination of natural number and proper fraction. Natural number and proper fraction. A number written as a whole with a proper fraction. A number which can be written as a whole, okay, with proper fraction, that is called as the mixed fraction. Like 2 by 3, it is written. So 2 is here the natural number, whereas 2 by 3 is considered as the fractional number. In the same way, 2 is again the natural number, whereas 3 by 4 is the fractional number. So these are the mixed number. Mixed number is the combination of natural number plus proper number. What are proper fraction? What are proper fraction? In which the numerators are lesser than the denominator. Those are called as the proper fraction. Okay. Now we will talk about the equivalent fraction. Equivalent fraction shows the same part of the whole. Equivalent fraction shows the same part of the whole. What does this mean? Do you remember, Jesse? Two fractions are said to be equivalent when the product obtained on cross multiplying them is same. When you are cross multiplying them, then the product is becoming same. Like 1 into 4 we are doing, and 2 into 2. So 1 4 is a 4 and 2 2 is a 4. So the product is coming 4. 4 by 4. So the same product is coming. So when we are cross multiplying any number and the product is coming the same, they are considered as the equivalent fraction. Now, student, today what we are going, that whatever we have discussed, that was just a brief of whatever we have already completed. Today we have to learn that how we used to convert any fraction in the lowest term. Okay, so fraction is in its lowest term or simplest form when its numerator and denominators have the no common factor other than 1. If the numerators and denominator does not have any other factor than 1, then it is the lowest fraction of that number. Okay, it will be the lowest fraction of that number. Like in example, you can see, I have opened the example here. You all can see this example. The example is like this. You can see 4 by 7 is there written is in its lowest fraction. Is this fraction is in its lowest term. Okay, so how we can clarify? We have to find the factor of it. Factors of 4. What are the factors of 4? Factor means what are the number, okay, which are completely divisible by that number, means which can divide that number completely without any remainder. Okay, that will be considered as the factor of that number. Like 1 can be the factor of 4, 2 can also be the factor of 4, and 4 can also be the factor of 4. Whereas in 7, 1 can be the factor of 7 and 7 can be the factor of 7. Common factors we have to find out. Which is the common factor? 1 and 7, 4 and 7. Okay, common factor of 4 and 7 is 1. Okay, what is the common factor of 4 and 7? Is 1. Common factor of 4 and 7, because rest it is written 2, 4 and 7, and you can see 1, 2 and 4 is given in 4 but it is not given in 7. Okay, so which is the common between them? 1 is the common between them. So thus 4 by 7 is in its lowest term. How the 4 by 7 is in its lowest term? Because there is a common factor between them, that is 1, and that only we have to find it out. Now just see, my dear students, one more question is there with me, which I am going to talk to you all. The example which is written here, 8 by 2 is not in its lowest term. Why? Why 8 by 2 is not in its 12 is not in its lowest term? Factors of 8 we will find out. The factors of 8 will be 1, 2, 4, 8. Factors of 12 will be 1, 2, 3, 4, 6 and 12. So what is the common between them? Common which we are getting is 1, 2 and 4. We are getting 3 common factors in both. Yes, isn't it? So it is not in lowest term. It is not in its lowest term. Why? Why it is not in its lowest term? Because if we have to get the factor as 1 only, okay, then only that fraction can be considered as in its lowest term. Otherwise, if we are getting more than one factor, okay, of any number, any fraction, then it is not in its lowest term. Some more examples. So my dear students, you all can see I am with one more example here. Reduce a fraction to its lowest term or its simplest form. Okay, so what you have to do in this, divide the numerator and denominator by its highest common factor. Means you have to find out the HCF of the number. So how we will do this? Write 5 by 15 in its lowest term or the simplest form. Just see. We have to find out the factors of 5. Factors of 5 will be only 2 factors will be there. One is 1 and another is 5. But factors of 15 will be 1, 3, 5 and 15. So there are how much are common factor? 2 are common factor, isn't it? 2 are common factor. 1 is also common. 1 is also and 5 is also. 2 are common factor. HCF of 5 and 15 we have to find it out. HCF of 5 and 15 we have to find out. So what we will do? Just see. So for converting that number into the highest common factor HCF, what you will do, as we are knowing 1 is one of the common factor in them, that we are knowing, okay. But if we will divide 15 and 5 by 1, then we will get the same number as it is, isn't it? Because we are already knowing about the properties of division, that if any number is divided by itself, we get the number itself. So which is the another common factor after 1? So another common factor is 5. Okay, so we will divide both by 5. So 5 divided by 5 will be 1 and 15 divided by 5 will be 3. So what is the what you are getting? 1 by 3. The lowest term of the simplest form of 5 by 15 is 1 by 3, because 1 by 3, when you will find out the common of 1 by 3, mean you will find out the factor, then the factor of 1 will be 1 and the factor of 3 will be 1 and 3. Okay, that these are only the factor. So now, as 1 and 3 have only one factor common, 1 and 3 has only one factor common. Okay, only one factor we have to find out the common. If more than one factor we are getting, it means it is not in lowest term. If only one factor, that is 1, if we are getting, it means it is in lowest term. So we are getting one factor only, that is 1, so it is in lowest term. So this is how we used to convert any number in its lowest term if it is not in its lowest term. How? By finding out the factor, and then by finding out the common between that factor, leaving one, then by dividing them, and then we can find out the lowest term of that particular fraction. One more example. As you all can see, again one example which I have open. In this you can see again the same process is there for finding out the lowest fraction, lowest lowest term. For finding out the lowest term and making it in the simplest form, we have to do the HCF. We have to find out the HCF, means we have to find out the HCF of the denominator. Divide the numerator and the denominator by their highest common factor. Highest common factor means HCF we have to find out. So 10 by 25. So first find out the factors of 10 as well as 25. So what are the factors which we have calculated? So 1, 2, 5 and 10 is the factor of 10, whereas 1, 5 and 25 is the factor of 25. Now which is the common in them? Common is 1 and 1, one factor we are getting, and another one is 5 and 5, another that which we have got. So leaving the one with, because we are already knowing if with 1 we will divide, the same number we will get. The same number we will get. So we will take the another common factor, that is 5. So with 5 when we are dividing 10, then we are getting 2, and with 5 and with 5 again when we are dividing 25, then we are getting 5. So 2 by 5. Okay, so 2 by 5. Now 10 and 25, which is when you are finding out the LCM of 10 and 25, my dear, you have to find out the LCM also here. So when you have also already divided, okay, you have got 2 and 5. Okay, 2 and 5. Now for just a verification, when you are finding out the LCM, okay, lowest common factor of these two, then also you are getting 2 and 5 only. And if you will find the factors of 2 and 5, then only one common factor you will get of 2 and 5, that is 1 only. Okay, another one is 2 and 5. Okay, so which is the common in them? 1. Only one factor is common, so it is in its lowest term. Okay, some more things are written, just see what it is written. Just see, it is written the final quotient obtained while finding the HCF will be the numerator, and the denominator is denominator of the simplest form of the given fraction, like 10 by 25. What is the simplest form of this? 2 by 5. And we cannot further divide it, or we cannot further divide it by any number, or with any common number. So that is only will be considered as the lowest common factor of 10 and 25. Now again one more example I am with, and I have taken the bigger number here. You can see again we have to do the same thing. Okay, and how we will do again? We will do this by finding out the HCF of the given term, given fraction. So how we will find out? You just see how I have done. I have finded out the HCF by doing like this. So when I have finded out the HCF of this number, so I have got the lowest term as 1 and 2. What I have got? So means that lowest of, wait, the lowest common which we will get of 32 is 1 and 64 is 2. So 1 by 2 will be the lowest term of this 32 by 64. Okay, 32 upon 64, the lowest will be 1 by 2. Okay. See, that only it is written. Okay, and you just see how I have done. What I have done is very easy, my dear. What I have done, I have just written 32 and 64 together. Okay, I have drawn the line like this, and I have just started dividing it one by one. Okay, and firstly I have divided by 2 both the numbers, then again 2, then again until 2 2 2 I have again and again divided by, that number, and then I have got the lowest term of that particular fraction. Okay, the lowest simplest form of that particular fraction. Now some of the points are there, my dear, which you have to learn and you have to keep in your mind. Okay, what are the points? The first point is written, just see this point I am talking about. A fraction is in its lowest term or the simplest form when its numerator and denominator have the no common factor other than 1. No common factor other than 1. Only one common factor will be there, that is 1. Keep this in your mind. If you are getting any more factor between them, then it has not been still converted in its lowest term. Okay, don't leave there. It means it has not only one common factor. If you are getting that is 1, then it means that is completely been done. Now, to reduce a fraction to its lowest term or its simplest form, divide the numerator and denominator by their highest common factor. We have to divide it by its highest common factor. First, we have to find the factor of both the fractions, both the numbers, the number which is written at the numerator place and the number which is written at the denominator place. Maybe you will get more than one factor, okay, common in them. So with that you have to divide, okay, with the highest common factor, highest, okay, the highest common factor in them, common, highest common factor. That is why we are not taking 1, because 1 was not a, if in any number, my dear, if 2 or 3 common factors are there, suppose 2 or 3, so whichever the highest will be in them, in that that you have to choose, and with that only you have to divide both the numbers. That is why it is called highest common factor in the given number. Next thing, the last point, the final quotient obtained while dividing the HCF will be the numerator and the denominator of the simplest form of the given fraction. Okay, what does it mean? The final question, the final answer which you have obtained while finding the HCF will be the numerator and the denominator of the simplest form of the given fraction. That will be in the simplest form of the given fraction. And whatever the fraction will be given, when you have divided that number with its highest common factor, now you have got the simplest and the reduced on the lowest form of that particular fraction which is given to you. Okay, so that is all, my dear students. I hope that with the examples which I have given, how to find out the HCF, how to convert the fraction in its lowest term, now you will do very nicely. Still having problem, you please come with your problem in the classes, and then we will discuss together all the problem, and I will try to solve it out there only. Thank you, my dear. Go through it very nicely. Thank you, everyone.